This is Whitney, and you're listening to the J-Cast on Jabberlog.
Welcome to Within the Trenches. True stories from the 911 dispatchers who live them.
Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with Jabberlog on the J-Cast, and this is going to be episode number 23 of Within the Trenches, and I am live on Spreaker, coming at you from my studio, or my bedroom. Yeah, I don't have an actual studio yet, but I'm hoping that, sooner or later, and especially when I get a bigger place, that I will have the chance to build up a nice studio for myself and Whitney to come in so we can do these episodes there, as well as the other episodes that I have with this podcast network that I'm trying to build. Also, Whitney couldn't be here today. She's actually doing some wedding stuff with a friend of hers, and it's not for her wedding. She's already married. She's helping out a good friend of hers, so she is here in spirit, and I can hear her laugh already. So this past week has been it has been very interesting. We were at the NINA conference in Lansing, Michigan, and I got to present, and it was great. I have to say, I recorded some excellent episodes, and I can't even say which one I like better because they were all really good. There's 4 episodes that we recorded there, and there's some great information for everybody. Everybody shared their stories, also what NINA was all about, what it meant, and for more people to check those out when the conference is coming to your area, to make sure to go so that you can network, talk with people that are within your field and learn a lot of things from these classes that they give. Now, when I was there, I had a chance to present, and I was nervous. I have to say that I was very nervous. The night before, I believe we did episode number 22, and it was myself, Whitney, Sarah with Washtenaw County, Jen with Ottawa County, and Bob Courier, who is the regional director of NINA as well as with Intrado. And we had an excellent episode, but I know I mentioned a few times during that one that I was really nervous about the whole presentation. And with that presentation, what I did with it in the morning, when I was putting the rest of it together, it was done already. See, the thing was that I was going to use part of the presentation that Whitney and I had used for our 911 board, but I wanted to add a little more to it. I wanted to add a little more in the beginning, and I was also going to be filling this hour worth of presentation with my own stories. And it went really well. One of the things that I added as well was the video that really started this whole adventure. So for those who weren't there and those that did go to it, I thank you very, very much for going. I really appreciate it. And but how it started was there was a class that I took during my graphic design bachelor's degree. And I have this explained on the website, and there's a link to the video, but I should probably put just the whole video on there so that people can see it all the time. Now, what we had to do was we had to do an audio slideshow. Now, we had to either do it with an animated video, like 2 to 3 minutes, I think is what it was supposed to be, or we could do an audio slideshow with pictures and music and such. So, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something that dealt with my job, because it was something that, even at that time, this was in 2010, just 3 years ago, I knew that people knew nothing about what we do, and I wanted to do something different. So what I did was I went to a couple co-workers of mine, and I asked them to assist me with this. I wanted to take pictures of them first off while they were working, and I wanted to use those pictures along with their voice and music so we could tell these stories. So my good friends, Tristan and Alexis, they helped me out with this. I sat them down and I had questions for them, and they told their story, how they got into it or why, and their best call and their worst call. And I put some music to it, so when you hear this, because I'm going to play this right now, it's, of course, this is an audio podcast, so you're not going to get to see the pictures or anything, but you're going to get to hear all of the audio, and that alone is enough. And it's pretty much, it's almost like an episode, a very, very early episode of Within the Trenches. This is how it all started. And the music on it, that I take no credit for. That goes to a band called Stained, and the song is called So Far Away. It's an excellent song. For whatever reason, when I was putting this together 3 years ago, I felt like this song went with everything that was on this assignment. So I'm going to play that for you now so that you can hear it, and I hope you enjoy it, because it's definitely a raw, eye-opening look into what 911 dispatchers do, the kind of calls that they take. And this is how it got started.
Hi, my name is Trista, and I have been a 911 dispatcher for 3.5 years with Allegan County Central Dispatch. I decided to apply for the job because I had just recently graduated from college with a degree in fire science. I thought it would be a good opportunity to work with emergency services and learn about communication within a scene. One of the worst calls I have taken was a homicide. I received a call from the girlfriend of the victim, and she was hysterical to the point where I couldn't understand hardly anything she was saying besides bits and pieces. Her boyfriend had been stabbed by a friend of theirs. He was lying on the ground covered in blood. He unfortunately passed away, and after the call I kept replaying everything in my head. I had been at dispatch under a year, and this was the first call I had taken like this. I was questioning, if only I could have understood her or dispatched help faster, would he have survived? It helped that the officer said there was nothing that I could have done, but it's still a call that I will forever remember. One of the best calls I remember taking is a missing person report. I took the information from a relative who was out of state and concerned about their family member. The information was given out to the officers in case they happened to come across the vehicle or the person involved. The next day when I came into work, one of my partners said that she had received a call from the family member who had reported the missing person. They located their relative and wanted to thank me for how helpful I was to them. It's rare when we get a thank you like this, so this is a time that I will always remember, that some people truly do appreciate what we do for them. I do this job because I not only enjoy helping people, but I never know what kind of call that I will get when the phone rings. We have a lot of emergencies that come in through our non-emergency line, so you can't always assume it's a barking dog or a parking problem. You have to be ready for anything with each and every time that you pick up the phone.
My name is Alexis, and I have been a 911 dispatcher for Allegan County Central Dispatch for 6 years this May. I became interested in becoming a dispatcher because I have a degree in communications, and I've always had a fascination with criminal justice, and that's what my minor is in. One of the worst calls that I have taken was in the fall of 2009. We received a call from a home, and before I could get any contact on the line with the subject, the person had hung up. We sent officers to the residence, where they remained on scene for approximately 30 minutes. Turns out that there was a domestic dispute at the residence. They left the house and cleared the scene. Approximately 15 to 20 minutes later, the phone rang again, the same house, and the male subject was on this phone screaming that his wife had shot herself in the head. All I could hear was screams and children crying in the background. It was a shocking and horrific call, trying to get help out to her, not knowing whether or not she had survived or not, and hearing the father yell at his children not to leave the scene and to remain next to their mother. I felt helpless and out of control, being that there was nothing I could do being on the other end of the line. We did get officers and help back en route to the scene, and she did pass away.
Being a 911 operator, I feel, takes a special person. It's a niche job. You're with people in their darkest moments and sometimes in their brightest hours. Everything from delivering a small baby to handling a car accident with a child that's been killed. It's a tough job, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy helping our community and serving the public.
Now, that was Behind the Mic, Story from the Trenches. And that is how everything started. It was an audio slideshow with it was shocking. They had no idea what we actually do. So yeah, it was really good, to have that and to be able to put that as well in the presentation so that people could listen to it and watch it, of course. And I have to admit that once I had it on there, let me start again. I have to admit that in the beginning, when I was putting that on there and watching it over, for whatever reason, I started getting emotional. Even right now, when I was listening to it, I was getting a little emotional, and I'm not sure why. So when I was standing there during the presentation, I'm sure people really weren't paying attention to what I was doing. And I have it on, I ended up recording it with my HD cam so that I could post it on YouTube. So if any of you have seen it, you can see me kind of putting my head down a couple times or turning around so that people aren't looking at me, because I started getting emotional, and I have no idea why, but it was good. And from there, spawned everything that's going on right now, everything that I'm doing, and that Whitney's doing with me for this show. It's something very important. And I have to say, I ended up getting an email today from a couple people, and it had my scores for my presentation, and the comments on it are amazing. It makes me feel great. I mean, one of the things on here is love the idea. Thank you for doing what we need to get the word out. Very innovative approach. Great class, very informative and entertaining. Go 911. That's probably my most favorite. But all of this is awesome stuff, and I'm very happy that everything is going through the way it has been. Also, stand by just a moment.